being broadcast live.
지금
And
시간이
this
다름에도
region in
불구하고
Bolivia,
한국에
even though the
시간과
time may
함께
be
호흡을
different,
하면서
everyone is
역사적인
watching
이 대회를
today's
기념해 주고
rally
있습니다.
through live
존경하는 각국
broadcast.
정상 및 내외 귀빈,
Respected
사랑하는
excellencies, beloved
축복과
blessed families,
정상화대사여,
ambassadors for peace,
이제
ladies
신통의
and
세계
gentlemen,
안착을 위한
now is the time to
대회의
welcome the
주최자이신
host of this
한학자
third
총회
rally of hope for the
평화의 어머니
realization of a
독생자 참
heavenly
어머님을
unified
모시고
world, the
특별
Mother of
연설을
Peace,
듣는
Dr.
시간을
Hak Jahan
갖도록
Moon,
하겠습니다.
to deliver her
한학자
special
총재님께서
address.
일생을 통해
Dr. Moon
항구적인
has
세계
devoted
평화를
her life of
참사랑의
true
한심의
love
삶을
to
살아오고
realizing a world of lasting
동에서 서로
peace. Despite the
남에서 북으로
difficulties of moving
지구
around the
곳곳을
world,
다니며 이방의
dealing
어려움,
with various
다리가
physical
붓고
challenges,
서 있을
Dr. Hak Jahan
수
Moon's
어려움이
will to
있었음에도
realize a
불구하고
world of lasting peace
항구적인
and to
평화 이상
overcome the
세계
barriers
실현을
of
위한
national borders,
존재들의
race, and religion
헌신적인 삶을
has led her to be
국교,
recognized as Mother
종교를
of
넘어
Peace by
수많은
numerous
정치, 종교
politicians,
지도자들이
religious leaders,
평화의
and civil
어머니로
society
불림받게 되셨습니다.
leaders.
여러분,
Ladies and
평화의
gentlemen,
어머니
please
한학자
rise
총재님
and join me in welcoming Dr. Hak Jahan Moon, the Mother of Peace, with a warm round of applause.
오늘 희망대에서
Ladies and gentlemen,
기회 입장하신
Dr. Hak Jahan Moon has come to give a special address. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hak Jahan with a warm round of applause.
이제 한학자 총재님께서
Now, Dr. Hak Jahan Moon will offer flowers to thank all of the Korean War veterans and also to thank all of the heroes of the Korean War. Let us give another round of applause to Dr. Hak Jahan Moon.
사랑하는
Beloved
전 세계 각계 지도자 여러분,
leaders from around the world,
반갑습니다.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
오늘날
Today,
세계 도처에서
all around the world,
일어나고 있는
various
예기치 못하는
unexpected and unforeseen challenges and problems are
코로나
erupting.
바이러스 팬데믹으로 인해서
And due to the COVID-19
세계
pandemic,
도처에서
all around the world,
경제적
various challenges in the realms of politics, the economy, and even religious
앞이 보이지
strife
않는
are happening.
현실이
The reality
전개되고
is
있습니다.
that it is difficult to forecast what the future holds for humanity at this point.
인간의
Until now,
노력으로는
human
한계가
efforts
왔다는 것을
have been
모두 느끼고 있을 것입니다.
made to solve these problems, but we can see the limitations
그러나
of
우리는
human efforts alone.
지금 이 시점에서
At this point,
이
all
모든
of us
문제들을 해결하고
know that it is possible to
미래를 볼
solve
수 있는
these problems and look to a bright future.
그 중심에
And the key to achieving
창조주
this
하나님을
beautiful
모시는
future
운동이 일어나야 할
is to
것입니다.
recognize and to welcome our Creator, God, the Heavenly Parent, into our lives.
창조주께서는
The Creator
아름다운 지구를 창조하시고
built a beautiful earth
인간과
for
함께
humanity, and the Creator's wish was to
지상에서
live in an ideal
천국의
world,
삶을 사다
a kingdom of heaven on
영원한
earth, so that after living their
세계까지
earthly life, human beings
인류와
could ascend to the pure
함께
spirit world and live
살고자
in bliss and
준비하셨습니다.
harmony with the Creator.
그 말은
In other words,
창조주 하나님은
God the
인류의
Creator is
부모라는
the
말입니다.
heavenly parent of humanity.
인간의 타락은
The fall
부모와
of the human
관계없는
ancestors
자리에
severed the relationship of parent and child between God and human beings. And human beings stand as orphans. This is the sad reality of today's world.
자녀를 찾아
And
나오시는
in order to restore
구원선의
and find
역사를
the
해
long-lost
오셨습니다.
children, God has initiated
그리하여
the long history of the providence of
그와
salvation
같은 인류 앞에
so that the
메시아
orphaned
사상을
humanity could be restored.
교육해 나왔습니다.
That was
그것이
the origin
성경에서
of the
말하는
messianic
6,000년
ideology,
인류
and this
역사입니다.
is the 6,000-year history of humanity
2000년
mentioned in the Bible.
이스라엘
2,000 years
민족을
ago,
위해서
through the people
그
of
뜻을
Israel,
이루려 하셨으나
God wished to
예수
accomplish
그리스도의
this
십자가로
will.
말미암아
However, due to the
이루어지지 못했습니다.
crucifixion of Jesus Christ, this will was
예수님은
frustrated.
다시
Jesus
오마
Christ prophesied
다시
that he
와서는
would come again
어린 양 잔치를
and
한다
come again
했습니다.
to host the marriage wedding of the Lamb.
기독교 역사는
The history of Christianity
사실 예수님의
has been
본질을 몰랐습니다.
one that
2000년
did not
내려오면서
fully reveal the essence of Jesus.
만들어냈습니다.
It is true that various setbacks and issues happened
그러나
throughout Christianity's history.
하나는
However, heaven
늦출 수 없었습니다.
could not postpone once again heaven's providence.
6,000년 만에
For the first time in 6,000 years,
하늘은
heaven
섭리의 완성을 가져올 수 있는
really worked to bring about the fulfillment of the providence by sending the only begotten daughter to the Korean peninsula.
이 말은
In other words,
창조주
the Creator
하나님의 꿈이 실현될 수 있는
is the Korean peninsula
인류의
is
소원을 이룰 수
the
있는
place where heaven's will, where humanity's wish can be realized.
일기
Heavenly, the
시작했다는
winds
말입니다.
of heavenly fortune have been blowing on the Korean peninsula. In the 1950s, the environment of Korea
1945년에 해방과
was truly miserable. Korea was liberated in 1945 and the Korean War erupted in 1950.
하늘은
Heaven
기다려온 6,000년의 오랜 기다림 가운데
waited for 6,000 long years,
독생녀
and the only begotten daughter born for the first time in 6,000 years needed to be protected.
남과 북이 민주화 공산으로 갈리면서
As The Korean peninsula was divided into the communist north and the democratic south. The democratic government in South Korea was not yet ready to overcome a North Korean invasion. And in these circumstances, the Korean War broke out. Heaven
섭리의 봄바람을 늦출 수가
could no longer delay the
어떻게
autumn of the
세계에
providence.
알려지지 않은
How is it
나라의
possible that a tiny nation, unknown to the rest of the world, could
유엔의
benefit from the participation and protection of 16 UN member nations? How incredible it is that the 16 member UN nations sent their gallant and valiant young soldiers, many of them in their teens and 20s, to come and protect Korea's freedom and democracy. The age of these gallant soldiers was a time when they were the purest and the most courageous. The young men and women who came to aid Korea's freedom and democracy were truly the children of God. What wind of the providence brought them here to Korea? These young veterans came to Korea's help to protect peace, to protect freedom in Korea. We can see through this that God the Creator is working with us.
이제
Now
그들의 흘린 피가
we cannot forget the blood that these veterans shed on the battlefield.
탄생을 선포했습니다.
I proclaimed the advent of true parents.
얼마나 인류가 소망하고
This has been the long-awaited and cherished wish of humanity and heaven. This, the warriors who shed blood on the battlefront will eternally be remembered in history. They are the brave
섭리의 용장들입니다.
heroes of God's providence.
타락한 인류로서는
As fallen humanity,
하지 않으면은
the advent of true parents is salvific. Without receiving the blessing of true parents, humanity cannot return to heavenly parents' bosom. And humanity and heaven have waited for 6,000 years for this moment. However, the Christianity, who should become a foundation of support for true parents, did not fully embrace true parents, and as a result,
60년이라는
true parents
기나긴
spent
세월을
60 years
세계에
working throughout the world so that
의로운
young,
지도자들을
righteous
위해서
leaders from around the world
오늘과 같은
can
천비를
really
진실을
reveal heaven's secrets
것입니다.
to the world. The time has come to reveal heaven's secrets to the world.
이제
Now,
우리는
we
더 이상의
can no longer
멈춤이 있어서는 안 됩니다.
stay idle or stop in our tracks.
1950년에
In 1950,
용사들께서는
all of the war veterans who participated in the Korean War are now aged, and all those who are still alive today are in their late 80s and 90s. peace.
그들이 소원했던 것도
Their wish was a world of peace. Their wish was a unified Korea.
그런데
However,
지금 세계에서 벌어지고 있는
when we look at all of the various challenges facing today's world, we can see that these problems are not limited to the Korean Peninsula. And to solve these problems requires recognizing that God is our heavenly parent and that God should be the center of our lives and our initiatives. When all the people around the world, when all nations around the world can come together as one family under the heavenly parent, when we stand in the position of one family as brothers and sisters around the world, we can solve the problems afflicting today's world. And just as God, our heavenly parent, teaches us, when the children follow the heavenly parent's guidance,
6천년간
we can fulfill our responsibility before heavenly parent who has waited for 6,000 long years and for humanity who has stood in the position of orphans for 6,000 years. They have finally met true parents, and the time has come to become filial sons and daughters by attending heavenly parent and true parents on earth and realize the kingdom of heaven on earth that heaven and humanity has wished by singing and celebrating in this kingdom of heaven on earth. What a beautiful, what a blessed, what a incredible moment of grace for all of us.
그래서 나는
That is why I, before it is too late,
유엔에 16개국이 참전한
I would like to thank the 16
나라들을
UN member nations who sent troops to Korea,
여기에
but I also wish to thank all of the nations that provided medical aid, material support to all of these 63 nations.
대부분이 16개국의 추모비가
I know that in the majority of the 16 nations, there are memorials that have been built already. However, there is not all nations have full registries of all the veterans of the Korean War. And I wish to remember the names of each and every veteran. I wish that posterity can remember forever the name of each veteran. And also, I wish that posterity can take inspiration from these veterans. And in nations where there are no memorials, I would like to initiate a project where the Universal Peace Federation builds memorials in each of these nations. That is my offering and pledge to you today.
그리고 또 한 가지
Furthermore,
나는 세계 평화를
I have dedicated my life to the sake of world peace. I have founded various organizations, and now I would like to also launch the International Association of Artists for Peace.
과거 기독교 문화권에서
In the past, Christian culture flourished
다시 오실
and
메시아를 기다리며
prepared for the second advent of the Messiah.
주로 유럽의
And
인류를 중심으로
mostly centering on the European
아름다운
continent, a beautiful culture developed, centering on the second advent of the Messiah. And even now, people around the world love European arts and culture. And that culture had as its focus
내가 지금
the
말하는
Messiah and the returning Lord. However, the culture that I'm speaking about now
우리의
centers on the 6,000-year history of our heavenly parent.
타락으로
We will build a culture of gratitude, of peace and harmony, to encourage sons and daughters around the world who are unfilial to truly connect with Heavenly Parent, and also to return love, gratitude to Heavenly Parent, to create the transformation of culture into a culture of heart, a culture of living for the sake of others that will shine brightly for eons throughout the world.
이 예술을 통해서
It is through arts and culture
세계가 하나
that
될 수 있는
we can bring unity among people around the world. It is one of the shortcuts to unity around the world.
인류는
Humanity
점점 더
is facing
늘어나고 있습니다.
rising challenges. The human population is increasing, and humanity's future must be preserved. That is why it is important to preserve the earth for future generations.
순환을 당하고 있습니다.
The earth today is being polluted.
이번 2020에만
Just in 2020,
천재지변,
we can see various national cataclysms and calamities, forest fires, hurricanes and typhoons destroying entire areas.
이러한
Such
문제를
issues
그냥 두고만
cannot
내일이 아니라 해서
idly be pushed to the side. We cannot ignore these problems.
행동을 해서는
We cannot act irresponsibly with regards to
우리만이 아닌
the earth, because the earth is not just
자녀,
ours. The
미래가
earth should be
되기 때문에
a beautiful place that we can bequeath to future generations. And more than anything else, we need to stop the destruction of the environment, because God originally created the earth for the sake of the human beings. It is now time for us to be good stewards of the earth and restore it to a pristine state for the future, for the sake of future generations. Unless we take swift action, there will be difficulties in bequeathing a pristine earth to future generations. And these should not end simply with words or slogans. We stand at an important crossroads. And that is why let us all speak with one voice. And the way to solving these problems in unity and harmony is by welcoming God as the heavenly parent in our lives and move as one in accordance with heavenly parent's guidance
한 가족의
and form one family of humanity
효자
by becoming true sons and daughters who practice living for the sake of others.
우리에게 희망이 있습니다.
We are filled with hope
하늘은 우리와 함께 계십니다.
because heaven is working with us.
우리는
We
하늘 앞에
are called
많이
to
빚을 졌습니다.
really thank heaven for the many debts of gratitude we owe heaven,
남겨서는
and we cannot pass on what we can accomplish in our generation
때문에
to future generations.
오늘
That is why today,
이 대회는
this rally of hope
70년 전
reminds me
이 한반도를 통해서
of 70 years ago when the Korean Peninsula saw the outbreak of a terrible war,
세계가
and heaven mobilized forces around the world
이 한국의
to come and protect
민주주의를
democracy
지키기 때문에
and freedom in Korea.
오늘날
And it is thanks to the gallant and valiant efforts of these war veterans that today's Korea is possible.
한 예를 보더라도
Looking at this clear example of
이제 오늘
heaven's intervention,
세계 인류가 다 함께
we can see that the time has come for humanity to come together in unity and harmony
통해서
and receive true parents' blessing and receive the recognition of heaven as God's beloved sons and daughters.
오늘날의
This is the only path
살 길임을
that humanity can usher in a future filled with hope and happiness. This is my earnest message. This is my message to you and to the future. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in offering another round of applause to Dr. Cha Han Moon for her inspiring message.